Hey everybody, welcome to Cheap Comic Collector. Today we are going through my personal collection yet again, and we are hitting 1959 today.
Jazzing down to the comic store. Oh yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Wednesday's here, I can't ignore. Cheapo finds and deals galore. Let's go.
Let's go.
Picking panels I explore so slow. Comic book Wednesday, filling up my hands.
Oh.
Comic book Wednesday, making big plans. Cheap collections, they understand.
Hey.
Comic book Wednesday, the finest in the land. Hey! Flipping pages, ink so bright.
Oh boy.
Heroes clash in epic fights, out of sight.
Yes, sir.
Villains plot when it's night. Hold tight.
Hold tight.
Wednesday's joy, pure delight. That's right. Snag that issue, first appearance. Whoa now.
Oh now.
Only spent a shiny dime. It's a wow. Pow.
Pow.
Swapping tales with all the pals downtown. Cause of Wednesday's magic all around this town. Kablam!
Whee!
Comic book Wednesday, filling up my hands.
Oh.
Comic book Wednesday, making big plans. Cheap collections, they understand.
Whee!
Comic book Wednesday, the finest in the land.
Hey.
Newsprint hang and bubble gum.
Oh, so sweet. Oh, sweet.
Detectives, capes, and rogues I greet. Tap my feet, tap my feet. Golden age or silver's neat. Can't be beat.
Can't be.
Wednesday's the collector's treat. Complete.
Oh yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you once again for joining me today. Cheap Comic Collector here, and I gotta tell you, I'm not feeling that great. So if I seem a little sluggish, that's why. Didn't get any sleep last night, and but still got to get those videos out. So here we are. We are going through the books of 1959 today. Special thank you also to the members of the Super Friends. The channel membership is $2.99 a month. If you'd care to join, you do get free gifts with comic shipments if you're buying from the auctions on Saturday. And then on Sunday, we have a private members only auction where they get first crack at the books that are coming in. So please consider that. It seems to be the only area of growth that the channel is experiencing right now. And it's a good way to support the channel. And plus, I make sure you get your money's worth. You'll get, for the $2.99 a month, you'll get at least 3 free comics in your comic shipments a month, plus a free gift, and all the other stuff I mentioned. So don't mess around too much with memes and that kind of stuff, or those little things. Quite honestly, I don't know how to do them. Maybe one of these days I'll figure it out. Take the time to figure it out. But anyway, we're going to switch over to the other camera. We'll get started. Thanks for being here once again to everybody. And here we go. All right, got everything set up, and we should be all systems go here. First off, we got Andy Panda, number 46 from 1959. And already got that in there, so all we gotta do is type in the number 46 and move on to the next one, which is Blackhawk. Gonna need a new bag for this one. Definitely the wrong size bag. Yeah, I don't know if we're still in Golden Age size in 1959 or if that's moved up to Silver Age size. I don't quite know where the cutoffs are on those kind of things. But Blackhawk had kind of a convoluted history of publishing because it originally was Quality Comic, I do believe, which then got taken over by DC Comics. But DC Comics had some couple of different gaps in their run, right? So let's see, Blackhawk, when it was published by Quality, it started off with issue number 9 because before that it was titled Uncle Sam Quarterly and went to issue 107. And I do like to put into my list the full information, even if I don't have a comic from the earlier Quality series. It makes it easier when you're entering stuff or when you're checking your list if you know what's what, by having each volume or run listed. Sorry, I'm talking funny because I'm typing as I'm talking. And then, so the DC version didn't actually start until issue 108 in 1957, and it actually went to 1984. But like I said, there were gaps, right? Went 108 to 273, but I know of at least 2 gaps in the listing, and I think between I think they stopped with 243 in 1968, and then it's started publishing it again with number 244 in 1976. Then it stopped again in 1977 with 250, and they didn't publish 251 until 1982. And then it lasted until 1984. So, and then of course there's been other series after that, right? That's just the main original run. And it says I've got this one marked as incomplete, which is why I probably didn't bother to put it in a nicer bag or anything. Plus, it's beat up anyway. I'm trying to. Oh, okay. That's what's going on. We got 3 pages that are missing a humongous chunk. I might be able to find those. So for now, I'm going to leave it in this bag and put it in the incomplete pile. See if I can find those pages. And then these Bluebird comics, I'm a little confused over. They were done for shoe stores, which is this one says Shift Shoes. There's different versions of them, I believe, with different stores on them. They were done by Charlton, and this is Little Genius number 3. But I don't know quite how these worked. If they were reprints of the regular issues or what. I could probably find out here on Grand Comics database. I've never took the time to figure this out. I have these listed under Bluebird Comics. I'm not sure how they're listed in Grand Comics database. You try Bluebird Comics, see what comes up. Nothing comes up with for Bluebird. So Little Genius. And that doesn't come up either. Maybe I need the apostrophe in there. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so Little Genius, 1955, 1959, 1963, 1985. I don't see any information on the giveaways in that one. So this might not be 1958. Oh, it's not. It's 1959. We are on 1959. I don't know what I'm talking about. A little confused. Sorry. All right. So then this other one is probably the reprints, the shoe store stuff. Yeah. Okay. So there were actually 16 different issues of this giveaway. And like I said, there's different versions for different shoe stores. Looks like there is no number 13, or at least they don't have that one pictured or listed. There's a note that says, does issue 13 exist? So they don't actually know. This is number 3. And so I'm gonna actually, like I said, list this under Bluebird rather than the way they have it listed. That way the complete series will be in the same spot. And I'll just call it Bluebird Comics Little Genius since there's a bunch of issues. It was done by Charlton. And we got number 1 through 17 with the possibility that the that the 13th issue doesn't exist. Did they skip the 13th issue because it was unlucky, like they skipped like some buildings don't have a 13th floor? All right, now, so the only other question is, are they reprints or what? See if they give any insight into that on here. If this is just a giveaway version of number 3, or is it completely different? Okay, they're reprints, but they're not reprints from number 3. They're reprints from number 22, which was also published in 1959. So it may be that it came out with at the same time that the regular issue did. But it looks like it might have a new cover. It doesn't list the cover as being reprinted. So now we know, I guess, as much as we can. There are at least 2 other variants of this, because this one's not pictured on Grand Comics database. It's got one with R&S shoe stores and one with big shoe stores. And this is shifts, so there's at least one more version than what they have listed on Grand Comics database, and this is it. Next we have a couple Bugs Bunnies. At number 67, another hot dog cover. And number 68. And some Chippendales. Number 17. Number 18. Number 19. Number 20. So once again, a couple of these, 1 or 2 of these should be double bagged, and they came out every 3 months according to what's on the covers here of 17 and 18. This is March, April, May issue. So that would have been the first issue for that year. June, July, August. So this one should get double bagged with 17. Although I like, this has got room for the 17, so I'm actually going to put them in this one. And it probably means these go together, although they don't have the months printed on these. So see, yeah, September, November. So this should be December, January, February. Yep. All right. So this one is actually marked 1960, but since the December is 1959, so we're gonna leave it in the 1959 pile. It's one of those things that's a little tricky when you're trying to figure this out, doing it by year. So that means I have all of the Chip and Dales from 1959. Cool. And it's another comic album, Bugs Bunny. Holding a big carrot like it's a fish. Number 6. And here's another Daffy, number 17. This one is saying it's incomplete. And plus I see a smudge on there. I want to try and get off his beak. Whatever that is, it's not coming off. Alright, let's see what's missing here. Looks like a centerfold is missing. Alright, so that one is going to go in the incomplete pile for now. And we got a Christmas parade that I have listed in Dell Giants, because not only did Dell Giants have all their one-shots and annual series, it also became a numbered series. And that's why this one is in there instead of being in alphabetical order as Christmas Parade. And Dell Giant, the numbered issues went from 1959 to 1961. And started with number 21, which was Tom and Jerry Picnic Time, and went to number 55. And this is number 26, Christmas Parade. Another great Christmas cover. 1950s feel to the characters. And what's interesting is while they did that and went to a numbered series, they also still had other ones. So this one I actually have in the wrong place, because even though it's a Dell Giant, it's Donald Duck's Beach Party number 6, not part of the numbered issues. So this one I do have in the wrong place. And that is the last issue of that series, and I did have all 6 of them. Yay me. Sorry if my voice is giving out. It's, like I said, I'm tired, I'm worn out. I'm pretty exhausted today. So neat little fold-up car here in the back you can assemble somehow. Supposed to use spools, empty threaded thread spools for wheels. So this would basically be a kind of a shell that would go over the top of the thread wheel so you could roll it. Hmm. Clever. Not sure what would you use today as a replacement, since not very many people are going to have thread wheels. But here's another Dell Giant, and another one out of order but by number this time. The having the beach party one in there must have threw me off on the numbering. This is number 22, and of course it is Huey, Dewey, and Louie back to school. And then here is a number 24. This one's kind of rough shape, but it looks like it's all there. Woody Woodpecker's Family Fun. I want to see what's on the back. I don't even remember getting this one. This may have been one I got off of eBay or something a long time ago. I don't remember. Could have already had it, or I could have just not quite remember it. I think it's in a gigantic bag though, so I think we're gonna try and stick it in a better bag than that. And yeah, it'll fit in here. I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if these are still Golden Age size, or I'm putting it in a Golden Age bag anyway, especially for a thick one like this. That's also rolled, spine rolled. But we should be getting into Silver Age before too long. We're in 1959. We'll be starting the 1960s soon. The Dell Comics will run out in 1962, I think, is when they stopped, or when Gold Key took over most of the titles. We should be getting into more superhero stuff as we go, in case that's what you're looking for. And got another Donald Duck, number 67. And so we're going to slip the Beach Party one in there where it belongs. And then we get into the four colors. Walt Disney Presents, which would have been the name of the TV show at that time. This is number 997. Nine Lives of Elfego Baca and Tales of Texas Town Slaughter. If you've never seen either of those series, I highly recommend it. It came out around the same time the Zorro series did. Zorro, of course, was the first Western that Disney did, I think, as far as the ongoing series. But these had quite a few chapters and were shown as part of the anthology. I didn't discover them till years later. I wouldn't even have been born yet at this time, 1959. I was born in 67. But yeah, they're hard to find. I think you can find them on YouTube, um, but they are Disney shies away from showing them because of the depiction of Indians and so forth. And I mean, it's ridiculous. There's Western channels and everything on the television, so it's kind of just really dumb for Disney not to embrace their past and bury it instead. But that's what they do nowadays. It's very disgusting. This is issue 1021, another Jace Pearson's Tales of the Texas Ranger. So that also was a series that jumped back into 4-color. And then we have a very nice copy of Vacation in Disneyland, which I was so thrilled to find because I actually still had my childhood copy. But you can see what kind of condition it was in. So, so yeah, this is. I know I always say I will keep the lesser quality copy and so forth, but not in this case. And then we got another great Goofy series. This is number 1053 in the numbering. And 1055. Yeah, it's funny it's 4-color because I believe probably the Disney ones have a little bit of a higher value, but the other issues are actually harder to find because there wasn't as many made. And let's see, we got little dots. Uncle's working day. What is this? This is Harvey Hits. Okay. Don't know a lot about Harvey Hits off the top of my head. I can tell you that it was published by Harvey. And apparently had a few different versions. Got Harvey Comics Hits, Harvey Hits, and then Harvey Hits Comics in the 1980s. So looks like they were all different series. Harvey Hits 1957, 1967. And quite a few issues, 122 issues, and it did start with a number 1. And this is number 24. CBS Television presents Huckle and Jekyll. It could talk anybody into anything, if I remember correctly. At least the stupid other characters that were there. This is number 33 from Pines Comics. So actually I have 2 from that run, that little short run. And another Lassie, number 47. Looks like they dropped the MGM at this point. But I did not use the MGM anyway because it wasn't that big of a title change. I saw an interview with this guy. Was it this guy? I did see an interview with this guy, but it wasn't the one I saw recently that I was thinking of. It was somebody else. He just talked about hanging out with this guy on the set because he was a guest star, a child guest star on the Lassie show with him. So anyway, that's interesting interviews with some of the child stars you can find on YouTube. There's a guy that specializes in that. His whole channel is basically that. And unfortunately, I don't remember the name at the moment. But there's some really interesting interviews on his channel. If you're interested in the name of the channel, just leave a comment and let me know, and I will look it up and post it. I won't remember to do it if somebody doesn't message me. So if you're interested, let me know. A little Lotta from Harvey Comics, of course. And she started with her own number one as well. 1955 to 1976 was her original run. And she had 120 issues. This is number 23. Gonna have a fish sandwich, kind of. And some more MGMs, Mouse Musketeers. This is number 18. Number 19. And number 20. So another opportunity to consolidate issues here, possibly. It's again published every 3 months. So this is June, July, August. So this would have been the second issue for the year, which means this should be September, November, and this should be December to February. So yes. And we have some Mickey Mouse, number 63. It's a pretty cool cover. Interesting. Very odd. Seems like a very odd gag to come up with, but here we're gonna imagine that it's getting a little high, so we're gonna start putting them over here. We got Mutt and Jeff, number 107. This is from Dell, so I got Mutt and Jeff listed as a DC comic from 1939 to 1958. Must have been picked up by Dell after that. Dell continued the numbering from DC Comics and didn't publish very long, 1958 to 1959. And they started with issue 104 and only went up to 115. So not very many Dell issues. This is 107. And then after that, it looks like it got picked up by Harvey Comics. And they published 1960 to 1965. And they also continued the numbering with 116 and ended with 148. Nancy, number 170. I have to look that one up. I had a Nancy and Sluggo before this. But this is just Nancy. I wonder if this is this where the term like being a Nancy comes from? I wonder. I'm not sure where that comes from, so could be this. So yeah, before this, it was Nancy and Sluggo by St. John, which is the one issue I had earlier. Then it became this title, Nancy, and then they changed it back to being Nancy and Sluggo, which was still being published by Dell, which is kind of weird. So it stayed just Nancy from 1957, 1959. And issue numbers were 146 to 173. And this is 170. Walter Lantz TV Funnies. This is an awkward title, which is harder than heck to figure out because it's actually still the Walter Lantz New Funnies. And they used this TV Funnies for a little while on the cover. So this is actually Walter Lantz's New Funnies, even though the title says TV Funnies. 270. I like this one because it's got Walter Lantz on the cover. This one does too up in the little TV, but I think that's kind of cool that they did that. And then we have Playful Little Audrey from Harvey Comics. Which once again is a bit of a confusing title because sometimes it was called Playful Little Audrey and sometimes it was called Little Audrey. And they might have just been different series, I'm not sure. Well, the main series appears to be this one. It went for 121 issues. 1957 and 1976. Although I think Little Audrey actually started out uh, with St. John Publishing, if I'm not mistaken. Which I very well could be. 1957 to 1976. In the mid 70s, they canceled everything to make room for more Richie Rich titles, I guess. At least that's the appearance I'm getting looking at all these dates together. And this is number 15. That's pretty early. And it's another fishing cover. Collecting the worms to go fish in was the very important part of the ritual. Used to do that. Sad Sack and the Sarge, number 16. Do we have this title listed yet? We do not. We have Sad Sack Comics and Sad Sack's Funny Friends. This is Sad Sack and the Sarge. Sad Sack had quite a few long-running titles. This was one of them. Went from 1957 and 1982. Probably was never a monthly series, but they kept putting them out. 155 issues altogether. This is number 16. And we got the Sad Sack Laugh Special again, 25-cent giant size. That was the format. Dell did it best, but everybody else was jumping on there. This one went 1958 to 1977. Started with number 1 and went to number 93. Maybe this is number 3. Not sure how often it was published. And we got a Scamp that needs a new bag. Another hot dog cover. Gonna reuse one of these bags that we consolidated. This is number 12. So we're just going to cross this out. And then we have a facsimile showcase number 22. And there were a lot of comics with showcase in the title, mostly from DC. All right, 1956 to 1978. I didn't realize Showcase started that early. I mostly think about it as a like 1960s title, I guess, basically around that era, but it started in 1956. It had 104 issues, which most people probably already know. It's not a fact I retain. And this is interesting because it's got some interest. Got some statements on the Grand Comics database about what was supposed to be in the issues before it got canceled, right? So 105 was supposed to star Deadman, and uh, that story is in Canceled Comic Cavalcade, which you can find online. But it was also published in a slightly edited form in Adventure Comics number 464. 106 was supposed to be the Creeper. It was also in Canceled Comic Cavalcade number 2, but it was published many years later in The Creeper by Steve Ditko in 2010. 104 to 106 was originally to present World of Krypton. And that's what the World of Krypton miniseries was, according to what it says here. I don't know if that's the same or not, but they definitely used that title for that miniseries. 107 to 109 was supposed to be The Huntress. Too bad we never got those. And 107 109 was then to introduce a new Western feature called The Deserter. Actually showed that on a show not too long ago because I printed it out from the internet. And 113, 116 was supposed to be a new version of the Suicide Squad, which we never got. So would have been interested to see what that was. Anyway, that's what was supposed to be in the later issues of Showcase that got canceled, according to Grand Comics Database. Summer Fun number 2 of 1959. I think last year we had Mickey Mouse Summer Fun. So I do believe this is a continuation of that numbering. It did not say that when we looked up Mickey Mouse Summer Fun, but maybe when we look up Summer Fun, it will have that information there. But since Mickey Mouse Summer Fun was the year before, it's a pretty safe bet that that was the continuation. And it does not say on this one either, but there was only one issue of this, which surprised me. I was thinking there was more than that. Um, I think there might be more of those in the Dell Giant numbered series. That may be what's going on. That would make sense. And lo and behold, we have a Marvel comic. It's a facsimile, sure, but it is a Marvel comic. Tales of Suspense. And of course, Marvel reused that title a few times as well for later series. This one ran from 1959 1968 before turning into Captain America with issue 100. So this one went 99 issues. This is number 57. And Uncle Scrooge. And I don't actually have a sticker on this one. I don't know what the number is. Number 27. I'm going to point out, too, that this also, at this time, was being published every 3 months. It was not a monthly series when Karl Barks was doing it. And that's one of the reasons I believe he was able to do such a high quality of storytelling in his stories. Because although Walt Disney Comics and Stories was monthly, he only had to do 10 pages for that. And then the longer adventure stories, this is like he had 3 months to work on this one story, basically. Although I'm sure he worked on other stuff as well. But that's one of the reasons I believe that those are such high quality stories. He actually had the time to craft a storyline and so forth. So. And we got some Walt Disney Comics and Stories, 226. Another fishing cover. 227. And I think I can consolidate those two. July and August. Yeah. All right, we have another one, number I got written down 325, but I just wrote it down wrong. This is actually 225. So this is actually before this one. And now you can't read it at all. And some more of those World Around Us. 25-cent giants from Gilberton. This is number 9. And it looks to me like that is the kind of marker that will come off with our friendly neighborhood Absarine. Oh, maybe not. Not completely. It's fading it, but it's not taking it off. Huh. Maybe it was. I wonder if certain conditions make it so those won't come off. Like if it gets baked on from somebody pressing a book, or if it's in the sun, or who knows. But it does seem like that should have come off, but wouldn't. And then last one in 1959 is The World Around Us Navy. This is number 10. And that brings us to the end of 1959. But let me check the other stack here. I probably have some more. I actually have quite a few to integrate into that stack. Wow. Yeah, there's a lot of them. I actually have this many to go in there from the previous episodes. All right, so let me close my list down here. Get back so I can see what you can see. And we'll flip right back through them and get these put into the right order. World Around Us 9 and 10, which I maybe could consolidate if I knew more about the series, but I don't know. I like to leave them up in the air if I don't know. So eventually I will know. And we got Walt Disney Comics stories. We have one of those from a previous show, number 223. Uncle Scrooge, Tales of Suspense, Summer Fun, Showcase. And we're going to slide this issue of Secret Hearts in there. Scamp, Sad Sacks, Playful Little Audrey. And actually these are... do I want to leave these as TV funnies? Do I want to put them in Walter Lantz? I got them listed in the list as Walter Lantz new funnies, so we're going to put them at the end. 268 and 270. Nancy. But got a Sneak Outlaws of the West in there. Nancy, Mutt and Jeff, Mickey Mouse, MGM's Mouse Musketeers. Gonna sneak in a Marge's Little Lulu. Little Lotta, Lassie. Heckle and Jekyll. Looks like there's room for heartthrobs right there. Harvey Hits in the 4 colors. And we're going to slip the Elmer Fudd 4 color into there. This is my favorite. even more so than the Christmas parade, I think. Just because after all of these years, when I got my childhood copy, it was beat to heck already. So um, it just makes me feel good to have a nice copy of that. Oh, we're gonna slip in Dennis the Menace. Got some Dell Giants. And gonna slip in Confessions of the Lovelorn. Comic Album. Chippendales. Put in Challengers of the Unknown right there. Cool cover. And last one to slip in there is we have a Bugs Bunny number 66. So we got the Bluebird Comics, and Andy Panda. So I think that's the most we've gone through yet. 1959 looks like I had quite a stack. Thank you for watching, everyone. I apologize for my voice. I will see you soon. Bye now.
Flicking through the paper dimes, finding heroes in hard times. Superman and Cape Crusades are the dreams that comics made. Brightly colored pages bring legends that make young hearts sing. Rocket ships and alien planes, all in frames that broke their chains. All in color for a dime, adventures caught in every line. The first comic book so grand, wish I had one in my hand. Villains with their twisted grins, battles where the good guy wins. Fights that leapt from page to soul, every issue took its toll. Yesterday's paper memories, super adventures in the breeze. Lost in stories, bold and free, dreams were written just